All right, the March project of the month is here. Let's crack it open and see what we have. Very satisfying. Ooh, this one is a heavy one. Okay, so let's pull out the stencils. We have quite a few things going on here. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. This is cool. There's a whole bunch of little pieces on here. And then, oh, bases. I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here because I was part of this design team. However, so what we have here, and I'm very excited about it, is we have 2 bases for 2 houses, and they can be standing houses. So you can paint something that will go on your countertop or your bookcase or on your fireplace mantle, wherever you want to put it. Or you could put a command strip, you could drill some holes, wire it into a wreath, that kind of thing. So it can go any direction you want it to go in. But super exciting to do something that stands so that you can relieve your walls. Let's open some stencils. Well, one thing I'm super excited about is this has an alphabet stencil. These are invaluable because they can give you a monogram on a project like this. You can spell things out, you can personalize gifts, you can do all of that kind of stuff. So we have a bunch of alphabet stencils on our website, so you can check those out at StudioR12.com. And they are so handy to have. Okay, and now let's get our book out. The book is always, in my head, something that you want to pay close attention to because it will show you what all is in here and then you can see how to use it. Okay, oh, they're so cute, you guys. All right, so we have all of these little critters. We have flower pots and flowers and a wreath and birds and cats and dogs. And then we have bless our nest and love, family love, home sweet home, background polka dots, background love, 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 and some greenery bits. So these are so cute. Look at this one. Oh my gosh, I love this. The black and white polka dots with the mustard accents. So cute. There are so many great examples. I love this love, love with the wreath or the greenery and the bird. So a couple things that you can know about this. Number one, any pattern, if you go to a fabric store, just take some pictures of some cool pattern stuff and you are going to see great color combinations. So these are good examples to start with, but then you can go on Pinterest and look for, fabric patterns and things like that. That's a good place to find backgroundy stuff. And then you can get inspired with a color palette. Okay, so I love the sizes of these. This is a 2-part stencil. So that's Home Sweet Home. And so you're gonna layer that. You could do this in, you could just do home, or you can lay the sweet over the home and do that. And then you can bless your nest, bless your family, or you can just have the word love. So that's a very cool one. I love, love, love the love, love, love stencil. I think that's really, really cool. Background, journals, papers, any of that kind of stuff. All of these stencils are things that you could use over and over and over again. Okay, and then polka dots are always handy. I cannot tell you how hard it is to do polka dots without a stencil. It's amazing to have a stencil. And then this one, we've got the cat and the dog. I think I'm missing a thing. No, I'm not missing a thing. So the cat and the dog little faces and noses and the collars so that they can lay right on there. You can paint them one color and then get their eyeballs and everything on. I thought I needed a whole stencil, but I don't. And then these are your greenery. So there's your wreath and all of that. So many cute things. Wait till you see these little critters. They're amazing. Okay, and Charlene is our main. We've got a couple of people that pack, but Charlene does most of it. So if you guys ever want to say thank you, let Stephanie know when you email her questions or any of that kind of stuff, because Charlene does a great job of making sure your stuff gets to you unbroken. Sometimes the post office folds things and does things, but Charlene tries to make sure that they are safe from all of that craziness. Okay, so what I love about this project, I'm gonna bump these guys over here. What I love about this is we got them 3D. So we have an actual piece that makes it 3D, and then you can put your cats, your birds, things like that. You can put them around, decorate your house. It's kind of like playing like paper dolls and things like that back in the day. If you varnish this and let the varnish cure for 1 day, then you can use the nano tape to put these on, and then you can change like your little seasons and stuff. So put different things on there. So the way this works is this is gonna fit right on in there. And then it's a little teeny bit, has a little bit of slop in it, but when you base coat back and front, because what you can do is you can flip that baby around and paint both sides. Okay, so you can totally make one side Christmas and one side something else, one side fall, whatever, all the things. So you can have fun with this and just kind of explore the options. And we have a few more. I love the flower pots that are on this one. Oh, look how cute. Okay, so we have flowers, and we have a wreath, and we have more flowers. So we can make these into just really cute little guys. We can use them as patterns, and then we have little potted plants. So what we do, right? So we have this in its stand. You want to make sure you mark your stand so you know how high up it comes. But then you can totally build your scene. So you can have your dog and your plant and your wreath on there, and you can just decide how you want to decorate it, and you have plenty of little pieces to move things around. Such a sweet little gift. If you are somebody that has young kids around, this would be a fantastic project for them to help you with, because they're gonna just have so much fun with all these little bits and bobs and stuff. And of course, we can't do anything without making stickers. So we have some really fun, oh, that butterfly is gorgeous. Hello, spring. Live life in full bloom, and I would rather be watching StudioR12. Well, of course. All right, so stickers are fabulous. Now, let's talk about this. So we know that we're gonna stack these two pieces. They need to line up, so you need to make sure that that happens. And then when you glue them, you don't wanna glue varnished things. So you'll glue them before you varnish, if you decide to varnish, but after you've painted, and then you can glue them together, and then they'll be ready to accept the houses, and they need to have the smaller piece on top of the bigger piece. And then when you paint this guy, you are going to paint this. When you do paint it, if it gets too thick, it shouldn't, because we're pretty good at this after like 25 years of making all this stuff. If it gets too thick, then what you can do is you can take your sanding disc or whatever, and you can just give it a little sand right there at the base, and that will take some of the paint off, and then it'll fit right on in there. I would not glue this together unless you have kids, dogs, things going around, if you needed to. But this way, everything will store nice and flat so that you can just put it away when the season changes and then bring it back out for your next season. These would be super cute out on a patio, your front porch on the little side table with a plant behind it or something like that. They'd be adorable season-wise, absolutely adorable. I love it. Okay, so it is so much fun to bring you guys new projects. It's like a little bit like Christmas around here, and we're like, oh, that's really cute. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna move all of these guys away. And we're gonna look at this catalog again. And if you wanna send in a thank you to Elaine for doing that part, it's a really great piece of this puzzle. I really love this guy right here. And I think I just need to do it so that I have one that has those polka dots. Love it. And then see how we used the alphabet stencil so that you could make it personalized for whomever. So you can totally put that monogram right in the middle of that wreath. You could do it inside this wreath, or you can do it on the wreath on the stencil. So either way works. Okay, so we're gonna make our house white. Going to use a foam brush. And then when you have a shaped piece like this, you're gonna want to kick off the edges, and you always wanna go in the same direction. So I'm gonna kick off the edge, meaning I'm not starting off the edge and wiping the excess down on this edge. So then when I get to that piece done, I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna kick off this side. Now when I get over here, it gets a little trickier. So I'm just gonna turn my brush and then I'm gonna make it straight. Soft, feathery pressure. One thing as you're watching these videos, don't forget that when I'm adding words like soft, feathery pressure, brush off the edge, or lift, those kinds of words, you want to make sure you listen to those because that is describing like what I'm doing with my arm and all of that. So it is super important. That's the instruction that's going to make you a way better painter. All right, so these are the pieces that I'm going to use. I've got a roof, I've got a base, I'm gonna do a cat instead of 3 plants. I've got a short plant, a tall plant, and some flowers. I think what I love about this pattern that Elaine made the example of is that it looks like Mary Englebright, and I have never not loved everything Mary Englebright. I just really like those bold pops of pattern and color. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our jumbo daubers to paint things, and we're gonna use our multi-maskers. So to get the terracotta right there, we're just gonna mask that off, tap off on our palette, and you can get these palettes at StudioR12.com, and they are amazing. Also, you can see how to clean your Mylar, which is what all stencils are made out of, on our YouTube video that shows all about that. It's actually in my kitchen. We needed an open sink where we could film, so we did it in the kitchen. All right, so I'm going to hold and base. What I love about these is they don't allow the paint to go around the edges. They're super dense and they're super amazing. And I think one base coat's gonna cover that. Okay, and slide it back. Just a couple of taps. Like this is one of those projects that you can totally get behind and be like, oh my gosh, I could get this done in an afternoon of just mindless crafting and just enjoy yourself. To me, it reminds me very much of scrapbooking. I just think it's wonderful. I'm gonna use the back of my brush, my brush, and sink that in that water. So that way it stays underwater and then they last forever. Well, maybe not forever, but for a good long time. I've had mine, some of these, you guys, I've had these forever. And like some of them look really, this one's rough. This one has been allowed to float to the top and dry, but this will still work. I'll even go ahead and use it. You never use soap in these because they are sponge. I'm gonna use this to do black on the roof. See how it's not quite doing a solid job? This might be one that needs to get sacrificed to the trash can. Yep, I think. It's just too crunchy. It's not, I'll show you the difference. Let me get one that's soft, okay? Don't let these float. So use your other brushes and let them sink. So watch how much better that does. It's way better. I'm gonna chuck that one. There haven't been, I bet you I haven't thrown away 5 in 2 years. Like it's literally, they last and last and last. All right, I have decided I want to do these both in black. So, and then as you load your brush, this is a brush, go ahead and just wipe off any excess around the edges, especially when we don't want paint down in this little crack down here, this little crack. So I'm gonna do the same to all of these pieces and just get a couple base coats on them, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, so when you're holding down the flowers, there's a couple things you can do. You can put a piece of tape down. If you have a barkeeper's mat, they'll stick and they won't slide. You can take the back of a paintbrush and spin them and do them. So that's what happens. You'll find these stuck to yourself. To get our green, we are gonna go with 43 and 41 together. Our terracotta pot, and this is all listed on here, is 40, 28 and 27 for black and white, and 25 for the yellow flowers. And so I'm gonna mix I think 50-50 of this. I need that green to brighten up and I need this one to back down. All right, so my white is dry. I'm gonna take my dome and my black and always offload. I've got my stencil. I'm gonna go ahead, since there's so many repeats, you don't wanna mess up a repeat. That's important. So this will actually line up and make a nice V visually. So you don't have to match. We'll go on this side. Ooh, hi. And this side, and then that roof line will take care of all of the excess. And so we're just going to swirl, and we'll do a couple coats. Okay, so polka dots are done. Can you imagine how much time this would take you to get done if you didn't have a stencil? And getting them even, oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're kind of ready to start gluing things together. We are going to see how fast this is coming together? Isn't that amazing? So I'm gonna take my little Aleene's Quick Dry Tacky Glue. This has been a fabulous glue. We use it for, we wanna always put it down on its nose so that it keeps the glue down into the nose. Okay, so we'll let those guys dry. Kind of offset them. If some of that glue is on the back and it doesn't touch wood, that's not to bother. And then a design tip is I know that this is going to be in the middle, and I know this is going to be on the side, and I know Kitty Cat's going to be over here. So what I want to do is I want to nudge that flower going towards that flower, and so the cat's pointed in, the flower's pointed in, and it brings your eye towards the middle. So it's just a really nice way to subtly guide the eye into your project. Okay, little cat, little sweet thing. Just something subtle so you know the kitty cat has a face. So I'm using number 36. You could go in and make the nose pink, which would be super sweet. So I'm gonna do the face and the ears in the gray. And then our little bell needs to be another color. I think I'm gonna pick up the yellow and neutralize. So you notice that I wiped it all out and now I reloaded, and so now we'll be closer to that yellow color. And so we'll give that the gold. And there we go, how cute. Cute little kitty. Now we could dot our eyeballs. So we can go in with the back of a paintbrush and we can totally use our glasses. Give that kitty cat a little eyeball. That makes him a little bit more lively. And so on that note, you could take his little nose. I'm going pink. And so I can go in with my little round brush and I could just give him just that little bit of pink on his nose. And I don't know that that made a huge round of difference, but I think that is just fun knowing it is a pink nose. Just nice and thin. I'm rubbing the tip right on there so it doesn't pool on there. On the wood. Let that dry. And we're gonna get our base done. Our base is feeling a little bit rough, and so I'll use the 220 grit to just lightly sand the bottom piece. All right, and I do want to make sure that my holes are lined up. And don't move them after you do this. Don't pick it up by the top, you want to pick it up by the base. And then we wait for everybody to dry. All glue is dried, and I've been playing around trying to see what I want to put for a word up here, and I think I am going to do home. However, great tip, and this is why you watch this video, I glued on the top before I put my word stencil on there. So that means it's going to raise up just a little bit. So I can do a couple of things. I can tape it down. I can do one side and then by holding and then do the other side. So I'll do a combination of those two things, but be wary of putting anything on there until you're done with all your painting steps. If I was doing this the right way, I would take my triple threat marker. This is the ceramic lead, white and gray, and I would lay the roof line on and then mark it so that I knew where it was going to go. Then I would lay my word on, get it centered how I wanted it. You might even go ahead and like mark where your foundation is going to go, and that way you can see how far up your word, your plants and your cat and stuff like that go. So those are what you would do if you're doing it the correct way. What you can do also is, we know that this is a fairly even word, and I can put my paintbrush straight up there and I can see that that is centered. And then I can see on my side that I'm even. And so I'm gonna go on that way, go on this way. And when you are, so I've got a number of brushes in my water right now. When you are painting something with multiple colors like I'm doing, a really good idea is to map out what you think you're going to be doing and then have a plan. So if you don't have, I have, 100 brushes here, so I don't have to worry about my brush being in the water and wet. So if you are not somebody with a whole bunch of brushes, then it's a really good idea to map out your thoughts and then work methodically so that you get all the black done at the same time, that kind of thing. So, and I don't know why I have black on my brush, because I'm talking at the same time as I'm thinking. Okay, so this is going to be gold. And in my head, I'm wanting to get to the destination, but I know that this gold is not going to cover up this black and white stripes. So I'm actually going to go into my white with yet another brush, and I'm going to mask any of the black dots. Yellows do not like to cover. Okay, and then I'm going to, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take my cutie pooties here, and I'm going to stipple just little flower centers. And then I can take my little stylus and I can dip. Anytime you're going to make dots, you always want to give yourself fresh paint, because the dots will end up with little points on them. They won't come off the stylus very well. And then I can give myself a little bit of happy pollen kind of situation. Just a little detail. And I a little bit want to go and then give myself just a little bit of a pop of yellow around the outer edges. Stay out of the dots. Okay, and now we go into our gold. So I'm going to push down on my mistake area over here so that that touches and I don't bleed under. The dome brushes are fabulous for helping you not bleed under. And then make sure we have something, I think we have 400 videos on YouTube. So make sure if you want to know more pro tips, tricks, things like that, that you make sure to go give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, do all those things, ring the bell. And then you will know when we have new content and new crazy ideas. All right. Ta-da! Okay, so now we need to see where we fit in our little house. Okay, so that's definitely tightened up, and I can give that a little mark. Pull that out. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then we'll take our glue and we'll embellish. Okay, so I think the middle guy needs to go on first. Okay, look at how cute this turned out. I hope you guys have had so much fun just kind of exploring the little pieces and putting it together and make a little scene of your own. You get great value with the project of the month, so make sure that you subscribe to StudioR12.com and learn when we're going to have new releases, and we'll see you in the next video.